Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know, these days we're all feeling a little anxiety around our finances. Here to share some real-world ways to overcome financial fears, we welcome back the author of Crush Your Money Goals financial coach, Bernadette Joy. Hi, Bernadette. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me again.
You bet. I mean, there's some things we control and some things we can't control.
Absolutely. And right now it feels like for a lot of people that things might feel more out of control, but I'm here today to share some tips on how there are actually more things in your control than you might realize.
So you say one of the first things that we can control is stop comparing ourselves to others.
Yes, yes. Funny story is on Saturday this weekend, I was feeling really just tired and stressed from like a long, busy week at work. And it turns out when I called my girlfriends, they were all feeling the same way also. When just a couple minutes before that, I was looking on Instagram and seeing that they were posting cute pictures of their babies and their houses and all this other stuff. So it turns out that a lot of us are stressed out, but we're thinking everyone else is like dandy, feeling really great. And so rather than comparing yourself to what you see on Instagram, if you want to relieve some financial stress, it's actually good to pick up the phone, call up a friend and share how you're really feeling rather than assuming what's going on in other people's finances, and maybe even sharing some tips on how you can both work on your finances together.
Well, that's a good idea. If you were my friend, I'd be calling you and asking you for advice for sure. Okay, the other thing you say is to simplify your financial goals.
Yes. So a big thing that's coming up right now is a lot of people are feeling stressed because, and maybe you've heard this or felt this before. I have clients who are saying, hey, I'm trying to save up, put more money in my savings, pay down debt, buy a house, send a kid to college, and save for retirement. And it's like, wow, that is overwhelming. No wonder so many people feel overwhelmed. And so today, especially, if you're seeing this message, I'm asking you to pick one of those things and focus on one thing first and make that your priority. Particularly right now, I would really love for everyone to take a look at their cash savings. And if you have any sort of consumer debt, then focus on having 1 month's worth of cash savings. If you don't have any consumer debt, maybe look at having 3 months of cash savings. And if you're in a position where your job might be impacted at some point, then I would say to look at 6 months cash savings and just focus on building your cash cushion right now, because that can help you through a lot of the other anxiety things down the line.
That makes it. Well, would you say cash savings over paying off debt?
So I tell my clients, focus on having 1 month's worth of cash savings first, ideally in a high yield savings account, so it's earning some interest along the way. And then if you have any sort of consumer debt, especially if you are holding on to any credit card debt right now, there's no shaming, there's no guilting about it. I have many clients who have had credit card debt because maybe they had a job loss or a medical emergency or something that was out of their control. But having 1 month's worth of cash savings while you're paying down credit card debt can make sure that you don't creep it back up again.
Okay, gotcha. And you say to reclaim your income, look carefully at your subscriptions.
I was just having this conversation with a client right before I got on this meeting with you, where I asked them, where do we have control right now? And she said, I have every subscription under the sun.
Yeah.
She confessed that. And when we added it up across all the subscriptions, it was $100 a month, which might not seem like a lot, but that's $1,200 a year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's $1,200 a year. And so I asked her, I said, at least for the next couple of months, could we consider maybe pausing them or canceling them? Because, you know, summer is coming, the kids are going to be out of school. There's going to be a lot of stuff they're going to be doing anyway. You're going to go on vacation. So why don't we see how we feel about it? And guess what? I promise you that all of those subscription services will gladly have you back if you decide you want them back.
Right. Good point. You like to use the $1 rule.
Yes. I actually wore this specifically to illustrate this point. So this is a dress that I bought and it was about $40. And so when I was at the store,
That's a good price for a dress, by the way. Good job. Good job on that.
First of all, I'm a very thrifty shopper.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. But the extra layer, aside from just finding a good deal, was to say, well, is this a dress that I could wear 40 times? And
Right.
so the dollar rule simply says, if you are out buying something that is like clothes or electronics or home goods or something like that, before you purchase it, consider, is this something that's going to get a lot of use out of it? And I like the dollar rule where it says it's $1 per use. And rather than guilting yourself into saying you can't buy things or trying to cut out expenses, it actually gives you permission to buy things that you're going to use a lot and not overthink it.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. You say also to watch out for social media and emails that kind of spur you to spend money.
Yes, I've actually been going through this exercise myself. I do what I call screenless Sundays. So on Sundays, I actually turn off the little screen, the medium screen, and the big screen, and I focus on living in the real world, doing the meal prep, catching up with friends, exercising, all of that. But I often find that when I go into my email, maybe you've experienced this too, Helen, is like you go into your email and you meant to do one thing, and then you
Right.
see that sale thing, and then all of a sudden you're shopping
Yeah. Yeah.
for something you didn't need. And so proactively, today, if you're watching this segment, I would love for you to just do a quick audit of your email subscriptions and say, okay, you know what? Let me unsubscribe from 5 of them today, the ones that normally get me to buy things that I don't normally need to buy, and just unsubscribe. And if you miss them, you can always go back to them.
Yeah. And you touched on social media.
Yes, yes. So social media, especially right now, I'm noticing that a lot of people are feeling anxiety because what they might be seeing on social media versus what's actually happening in their day-to-day life. And so a tip that I'm giving folks specifically for right now is that if you are stressed out and you're getting stressed out from all the doom scrolling, take that time, take a break, put the phone down. I actually give my husband my phone and I actually tell him to like hide it from me and use that time to work on something in your budget instead. So yesterday, as a prime example, I put the phone down and instead I booked my next business trip, and that helped me feel a lot more in control than if I was just going to keep scrolling on the internet.
Right. Right. I also thought I saw on Instagram that you were taking swimming lessons. How did that go?
I did. So I just turned 40 and I had a goal to be able to swim. I never learned how to swim before. And I'm telling you, learning how to swim was so much harder than learning personal finances. Because like you really think like, oh, maybe I might not make it on the other side. But I was so grateful I had the best instructor. And it gave me so much more confidence to come and do things like this, to say,
Yeah.
well, if I can save myself in the water, then I can come and speak about money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure it helps you do the other thing, which you say prioritize mental health and sleep.
Yes, yes. The pool became my place where I get to unplug. You can't really bring your phone
Right.
or your computer or your laptop into the pool. And so finding a really great hobby, I was actually surprised that it was really affordable where I live to get swimming lessons. It was at a local, recreational center. And so I'm really encouraging people, especially as the summer is coming up, spring break with the kids, go find some low cost activities that will get people off the screens and out and building some real skill sets.
That's absolutely positive. We want to tell everyone her book again is titled Crush Your Money Goals. Bernadette Joy, thank you so much. Great to see you again.
Thanks so much for having me.
You bet. And keep swimming.
I'll keep swimming.
Okay, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.